here's what you need to do. You have to pick a business model that plays to your strengths rather than the ones that highlight your weaknesses. And I think that we can all agree that building rockets is not going to be the thing to take you from $0 to $10,000 a month. Majority of the go-to business models are just as bad as trying to build a rocket ship and send it into space as a beginner. Things like building an app. I know, I have 2 of them. Things like starting an e-commerce brand. Once again, I know because I have my own e-commerce brand. Developing a software. Once again, I speak from experience. So that's my main business, agency flow. And in fact, I've even bought a few other software companies to roll into the portfolio. So just like building rockets, these businesses are very complex to get off the ground. They require top talent for product development and require a lot of cash to get started. Way more than you would expect. So the number one main priority when starting a business is avoid the wrong business models for beginners. Now the question is, how do you tell the wrong ones from the right ones? Well, here is how you figure that out. I've put together a chart that will guide you through the process of picking your perfect business model. There's basically 3 parameters that you have to consider. The first one is initial investment. If you need to burn through cash in order to get your business off the ground, the risk of you losing all your savings and potentially even going into debt is just not worth it. It's simply too risky. Whereas if you have to invest $1,000 or maybe $2,000 to get the business off the ground, that is totally fine. That's what I call a calculated risk. Not being a beginner and thinking that, hey, I'm gonna plunge $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 into this business model, or I'm gonna ask my grandma for $100,000 loans and her life savings in order to roll the dice and potentially lose all my money. You need to understand that everything in life is offense and defense. So right now, it's most important that you pick a business model where if you don't succeed for 3 months, for 6 months, for 9 months, maybe if you don't even succeed for a year, okay, maybe you've lost $500, $1,000, maybe $2,000. You haven't burned tens of thousands of dollars and gone into debt that can plague you for life. Instead, you need to pick the right business model for your career stage. And the business model that you pick now is not the same business model that eventually, if you want to make $10 million a year or $30 million a year, or you want to sell your company for $300 million, they're going to be 2 very different businesses. But that's okay. That's fine. Let's focus on the next step. Let's focus on getting you to $10,000 a month, because that's really, and I can speak from experience, having made tens of millions of dollars very soon in the next 12 months, crossing 9 figures. I can tell you that making 10K a month was the biggest life change I have ever had. Most people don't realize how much money just